Grease is the word. I never thought in a million years that I would be alive at a time where they would make something else that is related to the classic, right? I think for some people, a lot of people overlook Grease 2, which is okay in its own right. But like, come on, like everybody's been dying for more Grease content for like the past few decades. But I digress. That ties into my first question, which is what does it feel like for each of you to be a part of something that is literally the setup for the classic?
I can start. I think for me, it's really exciting to be a part of a legacy like Grease because it's something that's been so universal for so many people. But specifically for me, it's something that I've kind of had to squint to like see myself in or align myself with the closest thing to me in terms of a characteristic. So I think it's really exciting to be a part of this narrative and to add, you know, a different perspective to the story that we know and love, and to have people watch it and feel seen in the way that I wanted to feel seen and felt seen in the music and the energy of Grease.
Yeah, I think it's just so special. Grease is such a fun franchise. I got to be a part of it at this class in high school where I was Danny Zuko in the class, and I wore my sister's leather jacket because I forgot mine at home, and so it was really tiny on me. But it's just so special. It's such a beautiful franchise, and yeah, I think what we're adding to it is beautiful and is honest and is real, and I think is going to be something that new people enjoy who aren't even fans of Grease. Yeah, it's just such a cool opportunity.
It's an immense privilege to be a part of this universe of Grease. It's something that is so beloved. It has an incredible fan base, and so it's such a amazing experience to get to explore more of the world of Rydell and the other characters that exist, and all of these Easter eggs and pockets and stuff like that, and something for the Grease fans, but also to welcome like an entire new generation to Grease, and hopefully get them, people who haven't seen the film, which like if you haven't, like have you been living under a rock? Like it's Grease.
Do it.
But to bring kind of a whole new generation to this beloved classic, and put a new spin on it, and with new songs and new characters is really cool.
You just said you couldn't believe that you're alive. That's how I feel every day. Even right now, talking to you right now, it feels incredible. It feels like it's not real. It feels like we're not really here, and like we're gonna wake up tomorrow and this will have never happened. It feels like a literal dream come true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like such a huge part of like, it's of just like the culture of like, just knowing Grease is like such a huge thing. So many people, it's such a well-loved show. And so to be a part of that is like, it's spectacular. It's really daunting because we want to do our best to make sure that we pay respect to it. But it's just been such a spectacular experience being able to bring ourselves and our characters and our world to it.
I feel like the luckiest girl in the world.
Yeah. I feel like it's a big like task, big responsibility.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like, our creative team, everybody just is amazing.
We've never been more ready to take on a challenge like this.
Yeah.
And make it our own in the process.
And speaking about making it your own, I know that you guys are a part of a larger ensemble, but your characters are at the forefront of this particular story. So did you get the chance to speak to any of the original cast or crew members, or did any of them reach out to you guys, offer advice?
Well, a lot of it, Annabelle had a lot to share with us about what those our types of characters were going through in the 50s, and that really fed into that's what's so great about our role is that we had something original to create.
Right.
And we didn't necessarily have to follow those footsteps that are impossible to come after.
Yeah.
And make it our own.
Yeah.
Did either of you guys get the chance to speak, or did you reach out perhaps to older surviving cast members for advice, or like talk to me about like what was the process of preparing for this?
Yeah, we got a little like a little video from the actor who plays Duty in the original Grease, who's like he's so supportive, such a wonderful person. I really hope to meet him sometime. And we didn't really get the chance to meet too many of them, but we did do a significant amount of research on our own, talking to people who were alive in the 50s, who grew up in the 50s. I talked to a few people, and of course there's plenty of research that there is access to as well.
Absolutely. And I feel like I had a special responsibility to give justice to all of the Japanese Americans at the time too. And I was lucky that I was taught about that when I was a child and everything that they've gone through. And most of my family who has been through that has already passed, so I couldn't speak to them. But there are several museums, and even in Vancouver, there were places where I could go and I could learn. And I went to Zoom panels and I asked questions and I took a lot of notes because I just really wanted to make sure that I was paying tribute to those people and what their experiences were really like.
Yeah.
Marisa, I know your character Jane in particular is very close to the franchise because your sister, right? Which I won't spoil. Do you guys expect, or is there a roadmap for other characters? I know we get to meet your sister's friend, who I will also not name in the show, but have you guys been spoken to about, like I said, a potential roadmap for the introduction of other classic characters down the line?
Well, you know, there's so much that we're not even privy to and that
Yeah.
we don't know
We don't
about. And so we were surprised as we went along filming of things that were included and that weren't. So I think the audience will be too.
Yeah, Annabelle, our writer, liked to keep secrets from us throughout the whole thing.
Yeah.
She would not tell us what was about to happen.
Yeah. It's for the best.
Yeah, it is
probably.
for the best.
And so the show takes place before, right, as we've established, 4 years before the original, but it tackles some really modern themes. Are there any things in particular you hope resonate with audiences the most?
I think for me, it's the individuality about it. The Pink Ladies, that's kind of what they're the champions of this world where they can be whoever they want to be. And the reason they can be that is because they found the people that allow them and love them for it, you know what I'm saying? And so I hope people take away that they got to find those people in their own life that allow them to be themselves and love them for those things that make them themselves.
I think it's so special to be a part of a show that celebrates young female friendships. I feel like that's something that's not exactly like depicted accurately on TV, or at least growing up as a little girl. Like I don't feel like that's what that content was out there, really celebrating how amazing it can be when women uplift other women. And so that's something that Susan is learning. That's something that people can learn from the Pink Ladies. And as a woman myself, I'm such a super fan of this show and the message that it's giving to especially young female audiences.
Yeah, and as Jane says, I want the audience to remember or to take away sometimes that you got to be bad to do good. You know, I think that there's an awesome quality of shaking things up when you know that it's right, and not following the path of least resistance, not sticking to the norm because it's convenient. Our history is built on people who didn't stick to the norm and who asked the questions and raised a little hell, so to speak. And so, and each time it's like moved us forward and made us better people. So I think that would totally be the message. And also to like ask questions and look around you. You're not the only person in the world, and there's so much to learn from one another. So I definitely would think you got to be bad to do good, and empathy for everyone around you.
I was talking to Annabelle, our showrunner, earlier, and she said that the original Grease movie is a sort of like a subversive feminist take of the 1950s. And our show gets to be, we get to have our own like take of the 1950s and of the 70s take of the 1950s. And so being able to like actually look at these things and sort of zoom in and look at maybe more kinds of people who were alive in the 1950s has been so spectacular. And also, you know, it's a musical. It's like really fun. It's not just like the difficulties of people in the 1950s. It's also like the celebrating the diversity of just humanity generally. But especially like listening to young people has been really important to me as well.
Yeah, I hope that people take away that it's okay to be different. And that what makes you different is what makes you special. And it's not something that's bad. If you're an outcast, that's no big deal. You just need to find people who do embrace that part of you and celebrate that and can be your tribe of people to hold you up and support you. And you can find those friends. You just have to be around better people. And also don't let those people bring you down. Stand up for what's right, even if it's not for you. Make sure that you give other people a voice too, if they feel like they don't have one.
I think there's plenty for the audience to take away.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of it's going to come after the fact too.
Yeah.
Because especially with like some of the lyrics of the songs, like we know all the songs, but I'll be sitting in the car singing some of the songs, and I'm like, oh, that's what, like, you're learning, as in it's an easy way to digest these messages for the audience, and things like classic themes of just treating people the way they're meant to be treated.
Yeah,
It's like
and I feel like
respecting each
yeah.
other.
We have so many characters in our show too that the story follows. So
Mhm.
I feel like there's definitely a person for everyone to find where they're at.
Plenty
you
of
know?
perspectives.
Yeah.
Guys, thank you so much for your time. Congratulations on the show, and I wish you the best of luck on all your other future endeavors. Take care. Take care.
Thank you so much, you as well.